So, if we come to this level, someone should ask, say, Ya Allah, how can I gain your love? It's a valid question, right? How can I gain your love, Ya Allah? How? What are the action, Ya Allah, that I should do so I can be candidate to your favor of loving me, Ya Allah? Is this difficult question? Who can answer this question? Only Allah. Or His Messenger, who has the authority to speak on behalf of Allah. Can someone else say, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want to love you, you have to do this and this and this. Said, are you telling me what I should do from your mind, from your experience, or from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said? If you're going to tell me from experience, I really tried this, it worked. I said, Jazakallah khair. I don't want your experience. I want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What did He say about this? I want Allah. So I'll go check. Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say anything? Did He tell us, Allah, anything to gain His love? So the Most Merciful told us a lot of things, but we don't see it and we don't know it. Why? Because we are unaware of it and mindful of it. So here the hadith Qudsi, here in front of you. Allah mighty and sublime be He said, whoever shows enmity to someone devoted to me, I shall be at war with him. My servant, that's the part that my servant draws not near to me with anything more loved by me than the religious duty I have enjoined upon him. ما تقرب إلي عبدي بأحسن ما افترضته علي وما كما ذكر في الحديث. My servant draws near to me with anything more loved by me than the religious duty. So the path to the love of Allah is to draw ourselves to Allah by what? By the worship that He made obligatory on us. So that's why we were talking last week, if you remember, about the importance and the core of the salah in the system of the Tazkiya. The salah is everything. That's why you said, find yourself your salah, find your identity in your salah. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, قالوا أحب ما تقرب إلي عبدي به ما افترضته عليه. My servant draws not near to me with anything more loved by me than the religious duty I have enjoined upon him. My servant continues to draw near to me with the voluntary, the supererogatory works so that I should love him. So you see, is the intention, is the sincerity, is the firmness, perseverance, acidity. Because you start to come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you have your objective. Reasoning, all what I need in my life is the love of Allah. That's the answer of everything. The science of everything is the love of Allah. Everything. So you have reasoning. So I have to work on it. Like, how do you have your reasoning? You have water and you have fire. Someone say, give me your analysis. I said, water give me life, fire end my life. I said, Jazakallah khair, perfect. Now you have Allah and His love of Allah, love of dunya. Choose. Reasoning. That's where everybody is going to fail. When it's as simple as the water and the fire. brother. Now, when you start with the prayer, when you start with the zakat, you start with hajj, you start with fasting, and then you continue to get closer to Allah. Now here we have two important points. Remember we said the first point in the salah, what was it? Patience. صح ولا لا? You remember that? Okay. What is the second one? Objective. Every prayer, make for it an objective. I'm going to pray Asr. If you want to take notebook, I think, said, I'm going to pray Asr. I'm going to ask Allah for, I have an issue. That's fine. Write it. This is my prayer, is going to devote it for that. So you make your prayer a live prayer. You give soul in it. The soul is the objective. The soul is the objective. You have tightness in your heart. The whole morning till now you still feel not good. You remember, said, what happened? I remember I was like, kind of joyful. And then you remember, oh yes, that person, he came talk to me, or the news he got, or things that spoiled everything for me. I want to regain back that joy that I have, because I need it. I'm going to see my family, I'm going to see my friends. They need that joy. They need that, smiling face. That which is going to help, your children, your brother, your sibling, your parents. And you, to help you. Because when you are joyful, you can read and contemplate. And when you have bitterness and tightness in the heart, you cannot even read. You cannot even ponder. So I said, my salat, I want to regain my joy. And then, if there's a special dua in that, I'm sure there's one. But I don't know it now, that's fine. I need to learn that. But for now, I'm going to talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from my heart. Then you enter your salat, sabr, which is going to give you the time to reflect, and then objective, which is give you the soul of the prayer. And then you're going to ask Allah, you're going to talk to Allah. And then you learn how to talk to Allah. So when Yaqub alayhi salam mentioned this, they being said, why are you doing this? You're going to kill yourself. You keep remembering Yusuf and everything. What he said? قال إنما أشكو بثي وحزني إلى الله. I'm complaining to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What is your issue then? Every time he has tightness in his heart, he go pray. Ya Allah. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Baqarah قال فاذكروني أذكركم. That's what we have mentioned in the beginning, right? From the usul from the foundation of the Tazkiya. And then قال واستعينوا بالصبر والصلاة. And help yourself with patience and prayer. It's in the Quran. Which is the prayer, you can only have it to be helping you if you have the key of patience. Because the patience help you to gain the focus. Patience plus objective, you have a salat that have a life. Now, if you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to gain back the joy that you have after Fajr. Example. You finish Salat al-Asr after Taslim. Inshallah, you feel expansion in your heart. That expansion in your heart, what does it mean? That Allah listened to you. That Allah answered your dua. That not is going to increase your iman. is going to double increase your iman, because you feel special. And that salat was special. That salat is going to be in your memory for a long time. And then it's going to be your reference for the rest of the salah of the day. And the reference that you want to attain back, so you look back, what did I do actually to have that good salah? Because it's going to come time, of course, that you're going to be busy, distracted. Then when you have a reference, you go back to it. And that is the process of the striving. Because you're not going to say you're going to have all the salat like with focus and your siyam. No, it's going to be like up and down. And the down more than the ups. But if you make one good salah in a few days, that's a great start. A great start. Because in a salah, you're going to find it one time in the recitation, the other time you're going to find that sweetness in the ruku', then it goes away, you're going to find it maybe in the last tashahhud. The next salah, you don't remember if you did pray it actually. And so on, and comes back. And that is the striving. And my servant continues to draw near to me with the voluntary supererogatory work, so I should love him and her. When I love my servant, look, subhanallah, this is all of us what we're looking for. This is the awakening of the heart, the curing of the heart, the purification of the heart. I am the hearing with which he hears, the seeing with which he sees, the hand with which he strikes, and the foot with which he walks. You remember the system of the soul that we have put? We said the channel to the heart are the seeing, the hearing, and then you have the mind and the thought, and how subhanallah is all reflect in the limbs, right? So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you the light, that's the meaning, the light. How Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be, as He said subhanahu wa ta'ala, called the hearing with which he hears or she hears, is the light of Allah to get into your heart, so it filters the channel of the hearing. It filters the channel of the seeing. It filters the channel of the thinking. Then it reflects on the body, so you do things that pleases Allah. You walk to things that pleases Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is the result of the love, and how is a necessity for the believer in every moment of his life. And look, the great honor that the believer in this path will get. He said, قال, were she to ask something to me, I will surely give it to them. And where they ask me for refuge, I will surely grant it to them. I do not hesitate about anything as much I hesitate about seizing the soul of my faithful servant. He hates death and I hate hurting him. This is, this hadith. Not you should write it and memorize it. It should soak all your soul. And who's speaking is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you imagine Allah hesitate? It's a figure of speech to see Allah is caring and watching and love to His servant. There's many other ahadith, but this is centered about the love. Start with reasoning, then you take the steps through the obligatory action, the core, the head of it, the backbone is the salah. Key, patience, sole objective. take a paper. Say, what is the list of your wishes? Write it down. Then after you read your wishes, it's nice to write them, because when you read them, sometimes you feel somewhat ridiculous. Sit on this. How can I dare ask this, Allah? Take it off. But there's things, ask anything. When you make your list, your wishes is going to turn into dua. Then your wishes, they're going to be transforming into greater wish. Start with the small ones, and then it's get to the bigger ones. Start with things like related to dunya, then it's going to turn into things that related to akhirah. Because most of the dua, oh Allah, give me Jannah, is very empty dua, heartless, and does not have any life. Does not mean don't ask it, astaghfirullah. But people, they say it without really contemplating on what they're saying. How can Allah give me, I'll ask Allah give me Jannah, and someone is very far from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this dua does not have, is not going to be heard, because it has a lot of obstacle that is not going to be heard. Imagine someone has a lung problem. He's waiting at the emergency room, crying, wishing for the doctor to give him medication to save him. And while he's waiting, he's smoking. And he say, Ya Allah, ishfini, ishfini. They say, the cause of your problem, you're still doing it here. And you're making dua. So that's when you say, oh Allah, give me Jannah. And all the action that the person is doing against the Jannah, against, like, taking him away from the rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Say, so what kind of dua you're making? That's why the dua need to be reflective dua. Some of the scholars, when they say, oh Allah, be pleased with me, they cannot ask this dua. Allahumma arda anni. They cannot, their tongue cannot say this dua. I witness people when they can say, he cannot. I mean, he start to cry before even to say the dua. Allah Ridwanullah is the highest thing ever that someone can get. It's like someone generous. And he said, ask. You're not going to ask, for example, as soon as you enter, he said, do you want something? Do you need help? So you look at the house of the person. Yes, I want a car, and I want a house, and I want a family, and I want. I mean, he said, this person, he's not right in his mind. Right? So it's like when you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, ask him the steps that takes to the Ridwanullah. And these are thoughts. It does not mean that you should not ask the Ridwanullah. No. But when we understand the dua, when we reflect on them, then it becomes like when you ask about Ridwanullah, it's going to become big in his heart. He will not ask for increase of rizq with the Ridwanullah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because Ridwanullah it's very high in level. But just sharing some thoughts to how we make our salat with life, by making objectives. And the objectives, that you take them out from the list of your wishes, and the list of your wishes that you're transforming into dua is going already to cleanse your way of behaving with Allah. You're going to choose. And then you realize that many things that you're asking, Allah gave it to you. And you ask small thing, Allah will give you. But then you start to focusing your dua on high, very high levels, like the Ridwan of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You understand the meaning then of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to be pleased with you. Like Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, when, okay, so we go pray Asr inshallah. I think they've been waiting for 15 minutes. طيب جزاكم الله خير.